This is about Christmas time of last year, 2019, and we were enjoying ourselves, having a good time, doing the Christmas parties and having a good time, going to the family's home and visiting and hanging out. And I was reading about this stuff going on in China. People were dying, and it was scary to think about, actually. So I was sort of perplexed. I would always look up a lot of stuff. I'd always try to find information as much as I could. And, I'd hear about it, and I'd hear about it here and there. I'd actually read into it, and I'd, seek out information, Google it, and I pretty much was, finding it very interesting that this was happening. And it's scary to me, honestly. And I believe I was hearing about, this thing that was killing people in China, and that they were worried that it was not going to be contained there. And I remember seeing people being forcefully removed from their homes. People weren't being taking the quarantine seriously there and such. So as I was painting in January and February, I was noticing I was doing a lot of work that had to do with lines, byways, migration patterns, and I just sort of feel like the natural progression for me was to go into this mode where I was kind of like an eye in the sky, maybe even an eye from the universe looking towards our planet, and as well seeing the use of, let's say, technology and computers and such to sort of get an idea of what you're seeing. And a lot of my colors I use are very sort of like earth tones, but the blues, and I mean, we have so many incredible colors out here that and if you you can look at so many things that seem like they're an abstract painting, and they're actually in nature, or I guess as a painter you're sort of perhaps painting what is in nature. But as I was painting on and on, and the end of, I want to say about middle of January, I started making these very graceful sorts of line work over the paintings, and it was to me to describe what I feel is a modern world view, which is like radio waves, electric waves, flight paths, migration, technology, the World Wide Web. I mean, all of this ties into what it is to be a modern world, and also this pandemic, really, which strikes at the core of each of us in fear because of the reality of what's happening and what has been happening, and in the reality of the pandemics that we've heard about in the past. And it's all this interwoven play of history and interweaving of human collections of people, and stuff is transmitted through the air, just as a plane flies, as a cruise ship goes forward, as people wander past each other on the sidewalk. That's why we all are wearing these masks now, because as we walk past somebody, they could be the death of us, or we could be the death of them. I say, I guess, in recognizing that these paintings that I've been working on this spring, it is just a real eye-opener for me.